right into it. Let's see. How is the volume right now? Okay, so Turnabout Ablaze, beginning from chapter start, let us begin. Episode 5, Turnabout Ablaze. 2 cards. One of the Black Raven, and one of the White Raven. A country torn in 2. One to the west, and one to the east. When those which were split are made whole again, the truth will reveal itself. It's the Autogross! The Autogross is here! You accursed Autogross! You... Autogross. 8 hours earlier. March 14th, 10:17 a.m., High Prosecutor's Offices, room 1202. It's so nice, almost dreamlike, to finally have the chance to relax and sip some tea. Especially after what a whirlwind the past few days have been. On my return flight, I was dragged into a case involving an Interpol agent's murder. The next day, I investigated a kidnapping and a murder at the Gatewaterland theme park. And later that night, a detective's body welcomed me back to my office, along with a thief who was out to pilfer files related to a case from 10 years ago. How did I manage to find myself in the middle of so many cases back to back? Well, at least I have today. All I ask is that I be allowed to spend it quietly. Mr. Edgeworth! This is big, I tell you. Hey, what's wrong with you? Where's your enthusiasm? And suddenly the phrase, the fragility of dreams, comes to mind. What are you talking about, the fragile dreams? Come on, let's go! The fake Autogross isn't going to find herself, you know. Well, if you must know, it's possible that I was paid a visit last night by your fake. Say what? Unfortunately for us, the thief managed to escape, but even now we're still looking for this criminal. However, I must warn you that we've only had a few hours to search so far. So I must insist that you be patient on this 1K. What's with you today? Are you sure you aren't sleep-talking to me right now? Anyway, I've got something much more important that I want you to see. Oh, and that is... take a look at this. On March 14th, I will be there to steal your dirtiest secret. That's quite a bold declaration to send to an embassy. I suppose it was inevitable that a newspaper would catch wind of this. The date the card mentions is today. Today, huh? Come on, we've gotta hurry. The embassy awaits. I suppose it is quite an urgent matter. However, do you know which country's embassy we should be investigating? Well, it's some really special country and I'm actually really fuzzy on the details. But never mind that. Where's all your energy? Why are you so lackadaisical today? I'm not, Kay. You're just too wound up. Well, then you should get too wound up too. Because this just might be our chance to catch that woman. You mean Miss Yu? The woman who killed Kay's father, Bern Faraday, 7 years ago. Callisto Yu. She claimed to be the great thief Yatagarasu, and then disappeared from the courtroom. Ah, she makes me so mad, the phony! Everyone knows that the real Yatagarasu would never send something like a calling card until a company's underhanded dealings are made public. The target is always totally unaware that the Yatagarasu has paid them a visit. That's what makes the real Yatagarasu so awesome. The Yatagarasu's card that's shown in this article, it looks to me as though it could be genuine. See, that's the thing. Whoever it is, that person isn't the real deal but has knowledge of the Yatagarasu. If there isn't a clue that that woman's involved, then nothing is. Come on, Mr. Edgeworth, out the door you go! Wait, there are a few preparations I must make before we go. There's something interesting about this card we found last night in my office. It's a different color than the one in the article, which makes me wonder why. What's up? Any reason why you're boring a hole through the newspaper with your eyes? No reason at all. Very well. Seeing as how Miss Yu is also someone of a special nature to me, I agree there's some merit to be found in investigating this. I knew you'd come around. March 14th, 5 p.m. Theatrum Neutralis. By the light of this night's glorious moon, we are ready! Ready to embark on our nightly outing. And this is where our tale begins. What a coincidence. Who would have thought that a Steel Samurai stage show would ever be held at such an elegant theater as inside a foreign embassy? Yeah, the climax was really awesome! Steel Samurai Sushi Slice! I got chills down my spine when he pulled that move out. I suppose it really is more impactful to watch a show in person than on television. I have to say though, this embassy is set up kind of funny. I mean, they have two countries sharing the same building. Well, as you said yourself, this place and the countries it houses are very special. Even this theater is special in that it is a neutral zone shared by the two countries. So let me get this straight. The Steel Samurai show just now is being sponsored by one of the two countries. The one that's called the Kingdom of Alabast, right? Yes, it would appear that the Steel Samurai is very popular in that country as well. Seems that way. But you know who I'm really into? The Jammin' Ninja. The Republic of Babal is sponsoring a Jammin' Ninja stage show. That's something for fangirls like me. We've totally got to see that too, Mr. Edgeworth. The Jammin' Ninja's show is gonna kick the Steel Samurai show's rear end. Steel Samurai show's rear end. You know, ever since I first met this girl, I've always had this inkling that what she really wants to be is not a thief, but rather a ninja. So anyway, about today's event, what's it called again? The Kingdom of Alabast versus the Republic of Babal Goodwill Jubilee. The small European countries of the Kingdom of Alabast and the Republic of Babal. These two countries used to be a single entity that was abundant with nature, and it was called the Principality of COHDOPIA. Is everything alright, Mr. Edgeworth? Yes, I'm alright. Moving on. After a period of civil unrest, the country split in two, though signs of their past remain. For example, their flags preserve the flower and butterfly motifs to this day. COHDOPIA. The KG8 incident and what is referred to as the second KG8 incident, in which an embassy staff member was murdered. Both of these cases were related to the Principality of COHDOPIA. In the 7 years that have passed, the country may have split into two. However, the Atagarasu still send a calling card here. What could it all mean? Mr. Edgeworth, I know you're thinking about something. Oh, excuse me, what were we talking about again? If you could please stop spacing out on me. Anyway, we were talking about the Alabas versus Babal Goodwill Jubilee. The two countries have had a pretty bad relationship with each other. But supposedly they've been trying really hard to make up recently. That's why they decided to hold this event. If that's the case, then why the verses? Also, both countries claim to own the real Primaduck statue. A real treasure to both. They're planning to have them publicly evaluated today to see which one's the real deal. Kate, need I remind you to take care and not succumb to your thieving desires? Well, when it comes to treasure, I can't help myself. You know that. Should better be saying that in jest. Hey, I can read your body language, you know, and you've got it all wrong. Look, I'm here to do some investigating. Investigating, I tell you! I know. And although we don't know if the Atagarasu will really make an appearance, I suppose we should still spend some time examining this place. This is the perfect angle! Go, my image! Travel across the wave world and into TV set around the globe. A more honest approach to appearing on TV might serve your ambitions better. And we're here reporting live from the Theatrum Neutralis. As you can see, tonight's audience is full of enthusiasm. Let's see what this member of the audience has to say. Well, okay, that was good. Let's do one more run-through. Excuse me, but when you are ready to film for real, would you mind giving me a call? I sense that you didn't hear a single word I just said. It appears that the child is watching a video from the first season of The Steel Samurai. Go, go, keep on fighting until your last breath. Go, my hero, the Steel Samurai. Completely absorbed in singing the theme song, I see. I'll let the child watch in peace. Okay, that's good. Alright, now give me a dramatic slam right there. Stop! Hey, do you mind? Get out of my way. Get out of the way, buddy. Okay, once more, in 3, 2, 1, action! Okay, was that my fault just now? Well, he's obviously working. I guess we should leave him alone. Oh, it's, Lotta Hart. The cameo for Lotta Hart. Where in tarnation are they? Come on, Big Scoop! Hey, mister! Out of the way! Yeah, I'm talking to you! I seem to remember this woman from somewhere, yet my instincts are directing me not to engage in conversation with her. Perhaps it would be best if I left her alone. Is there something I can help you with? I was wondering what is beyond these doors. The Babalese embassy is just beyond these doors, sir. Do you have some business with the embassy? Do you require immediate access? No, that's quite alright. Are you sure, sir? Anyone and everyone is always welcome in the Republic of Babal. Well then, since we're here, an embassy isn't some sort of theme park, eh? Okay. You're such a buzzkill! One second, I will be right back. Give me like 2 minutes. Okay, I'm back. Thanks. Okay, I'm back. Thanks for waiting. You know, I've seen a lot, but today's show, it was like they went in it for a complete comedy. Yeah, in the last movie, I couldn't help but laugh. I know, right? And that Pink Princess movements were really... in the middle of this show, I could swear that... Oh, I know, I could swear that the Pink Princess is just as a bad hit. I suppose there's no graceful way to enter this conversation. 10 more minutes. No, and 5 more minutes. Man, isn't it really bad for me to spend time doing this? It's no use! Would someone please just tell me what I should do? You appear to be troubled by something. May I be of any assistance? Leave me alone! I'm trying to figure out just the right time to talk to that girl over there. If I mess up, it'll be because I'm talking to you. Or talking to you right now. Somehow I get the feeling he's about to fall flat on his face. Well, let's just do as he wishes and leave him alone. Oh, hey, Portland. Have you played through this case yet, so it's not spoilers? Is there something I can help you with? I was wondering what is beyond these doors. It's the Alabastian Embassy. Now, unless you have some business with the Embassy... I suppose I can't really claim to have any business with the Embassy right now. Well, you don't have to be so rude about it, Mr. Guard. Nice. Ooh, good. It's a really good game. So, did you find the fan translation? I mean, did you find the fan translation of the second game? Good. Good. Yeah, I'll do that one over Christmas break, so I'll be in like a month or so. Maybe a little less than a month. But yeah, so you'll definitely have it done by then, if you want to watch that one as well, even after you finish. The national flag of the Kingdom of Alabast is on display here. The crest on it features a flower. Flowers and butterflies are kind of rare motifs for flags, don't you think? Well, when they used to be COHDOPIA, the government used to take pride in its land. The citizens also loved the rich, bountiful nature all around them, thus the design. Hey, if the Steel Samurai got popular enough, do you think they'd put him on their flag? Are you in your right mind, Kay? Or maybe the Gem Ninja would make a better candidate? Don't make me laugh, Kay. Only the Steel Samurai deserves such an honor. There are pamphlets about the two embassies here on this table. It still looks weird to me. The country split it into two a few years back, and they've shared the building and its grounds 50-50 ever since. Now, it's been about a year, maybe like 3/4 of a year since I played this, since I finished this case, so I might mess up along the way like the other episodes. It's just, yeah, it's just a thing. I remember this one being hard, though, and very long. And they've shared the building and its grounds 50-50 ever since. Oh? I guess it's because they don't have the money to build two separate ones, huh? I should think that's not the reason why, Kay. I suppose I'll just help myself to one of these. Embassy guide stuck into the pages of my organizer. What is all of the hubbub? Oh! Hey, look! It's the Steel Samurai! And he's got his son, the Iron Infant, with him. May I speak with you for a second? It's the Steel Samurai. Yeah, I remember the first time. Well, and with these games, the final case, not only is it the testimonies, but it's also the logic, because they give you a lot of pieces of information, like 6, before you can actually piece anything together, so you have to really think about things. I remember in the final case of the second game especially, I was stuck on one thing for a while, and then I think I was playing with my mom and dad, and my dad had an idea, and we tried it, and it worked. But you can just have a lot of different theories and different ways to interpret the information, but there's just, yeah, it's interesting. It's the Steel Samurai. Mr. Edgeworth, what are you glaring at him for? Please excuse me. It's just that I've never seen a superhero up close before. It looks like he's written something down for you. To Edgeworth from Steel Samurai Daddy, married man of New Old Tokyo. Wow, an autograph. Pretty cool that you got one, huh, Mr. Edgeworth? Steel Samurai's autograph received. Mr. Steel Samurai, Ambassador Alba is waiting for you. And now the Steel Samurai will proceed to enter the Kingdom of Alabasta and shake the hand of the Ambassador. The Steel Samurai isn't only here for the two countries tonight, but rather can be thought of as a goodwill ambassador from our country as well. There he goes, off to spread goodwill to the world, or goodwill to the world. Exactly. Like, at some points, it's like process of elimination sometimes, because every piece of evidence is used. So sometimes you can narrow it down, but sometimes they repeat the evidence that you use like 3 times. So it's like you really can't trust the elimination method, which I kind of like, because elimination method doesn't promote thinking. But yeah, and it'll be interesting, because I interpreted some of these voices most likely different than other people, so I'm curious to see how you'll react to the voices I give to the characters that you played with already, but you haven't heard the voice for, so I'm curious. He really does seem like a goodwill ambassador, doesn't he? Okay, we're shooting the next segment now. Cue camera! In just a few seconds, the Gem Ninja stage show is set to begin. After the show, the Gem Ninja will enter the Republic of Babal. He is set to meet with the Ambassador of Babal at that time. The Gem Ninja's show is about to start! We've got to get back to our seats! Regrettably, I don't have much of an interest in ninjas. Well, this show will change your mind. Come on, we have to hurry! If we miss even a second of the Gem Ninja's awesome playing, I'll never forgive you. I suppose you're not about to give me much of a choice here, are you, Kay? Yeah, exactly, I know what you're saying. Or you present the right, well, you present the right logical evidence, but they require like a different aspect of it, so they require different pieces of evidence, and then they talk about the piece of evidence that you presented first that they said was wrong. It's kind of strange sometimes. I could listen to that in Ninja Marked for Death's Lullaby song all day. His superb playing and that sad melody really brought a tear to my eye. And his heart-wrenching voice, now that's the Gem Ninja's greatest weapon. Those pieces of Gem Ninja merchandise over there! I've got to have them! I especially want the hair sticks they're selling exclusively at these shows. They're exactly like the ones the heroine Princess Mysola wears in her hair. Anyway, hold it right there, Mr. Edgeworth. Yes? You're thinking of going home, aren't you? Well, it doesn't seem likely that the Autograssi will be making an appearance tonight. Most likely it was simply a prank. No way, I just know the Autograssi will show. But I thought you said that the Autograssi doesn't send calling cards. Yeah, I did, but I figured from the very beginning that this would wind up being a wild goose chase. That card she sent was a genuine fake calling card. A genuine fake? Well, how can I word this? The Autograssi's mark that's on the The calling card is exactly the same as my mark. Get it now? We've got a problem! The autograph has been spotted in Alabast. One second, I'm gonna open my windows, like 30 seconds, 1 second. I'm back, so sorry. The autograph has been spotted in Alabast. What? You hear that, Mr. Edgeworth? Ha! So you finally decided to show yourself, you phony. Hey, what gives? I'm sorry, but I will need to search you before you may enter. What the? Hey, the Steel Samurai just waltzed straight on through without one. Now, if you don't hurry up and let me through, then my phone is going to escape. Okay, a country's embassy is considered to be a part of the country itself. If you don't go through the proper procedures to enter the country... Mr. Edgeworth! I'm going to enter through the ball and climb over the wall into Alabast. Hold it! You would tell a prosecutor straight up that you intend to illegally enter another... Okay, are you listening to me? Okay, Faraday, and I'm coming through. Yes, and welcome. Someone stop her! Anyone! March 14, 6:12 p.m. Open air stage. Okay, where are you? Don't tell me you really did some way over the... Don't tell me you really did find some way over this fence. Fire! This is too big for us to handle. Looks like the autographs came into the ball too. You accursed Yashikarasu. Kay, you had better be alright wherever you are. Didn't they say something? Wasn't there something said differently in the intro? It was like, how could you or something like this? March 14th, 6:45 p.m. Bobley's Embassy Secretariat's office. I told you! It wasn't me! Hold it! Okay, are you alright? Do I look alright to you? Now, can you do something about this woman? Mr. Edgeworth. Detective Gumshoe, what is the meaning of this? Well, sir, it's, this. It wasn't me. He was already dead when I ran in here, hot on the heels of the fake Yatagrasu. Look, I only came in here because I saw a suspicious person at the open air stage. A suspicious person? A long black coat and a hood over their head. I dare you to tell me that's not suspicious. When I saw that person, I immediately thought that they must be the fake Yatagrasu. So I chased after them into the embassy, then into here, and then lost sight of them. But I just know that person is the one who did it. But I just know that person is the one who did it. What are you so worked up over? There's no reason for you to be this loud. Correct me if I'm wrong, but your agent lying secretary, Sheena, I believe your name is correct. And if you are making an arrest, I assume you have evidence that it was Kay who committed the crime. Is that also correct? You refuse to answer? You refuse to answer? I don't need to answer. You're merely a prosecutor in this country, meaning you have no investigative authority. Hey, pal, just what the heck does what you just said mean? If it happened here, it's under Mr. Edgeworth's jurisdiction, the end. And seeing as how this building is sitting on our soil, we can investigate wherever we'd like. Unfortunately, Detective, embassies are a different matter. Huh? This office is considered to be a part of the Republic of Babol. which means that anything that happens in here defaults to the control of the Babalese government and Babalese law, giving them exclusive extraterritorial rights. Extraterrestrial rights? Sir, do you really believe that the truth is out there? Haha, X-Files moment! X-Files reference. Hey, I did not remember that was in here. I appreciate that so much. Basically, our country's laws do not apply inside the embassy of another country. That's what was agreed to by our respective governments. Our authority to investigate was effectively nullified the second we entered this place. Which means we can do little here in the situation. No way, sir. Please leave this matter in Interpol's hands and go home. Mr. Edgeworth. Hey, you're not... Mr. Edgeworth! Hold it. In that case, allow me to join your investigation. Miss Von Karma. Ambassador Pereno, I truly appreciate you allowing me to join the investigation. It's really nothing. Manny was my secretariat, so of course I want to help you as much as I can. In fact, it's a blessing that Interpol agents were able to make it so quickly. Franziska. Well, I never imagined that I'd meet you here of all places. This is an embassy, meaning that you have no authority to conduct. Hold it! Already? What is it? Ambassador Plano. And you are? I'm Miles Edgeworth, public prosecutor. I ask that you please allow me to investigate this case as Miss Von Karma's assistant. Assistant? Miles? What the heck do you think you're... Please, I implore you, Ambassador Plano. Very well. I'll be counting on the two of you, Miss Von Karma and Mr. Edgeworth. What did you mean by that you'll be Miss Von Karma's assistant? I don't exactly have a choice, do I, Detective? If I don't become Franziska's assistant, I can't participate in the investigation. There you go again, running at your mouth with that aloof expression on your face. Franziska, please. I don't know what you are planning quite yet, but at least I do know one thing, that you are now my subordinate. Just remember that my whip is always ready to wake you, should you have a brain lapse. Of course, I'll keep that in mind. If you're done playing games. Right, let's begin the investigation. Babalese Embassy Secretariat's office. By the way, Detective, I suppose it's a bit late to be asking, but why are you here? Well, better late than never, I guess, sir. I was placed on guard duty for the Babalese Embassy today. And why are our police guarding an embassy? Well, on account of the card they got from the Autograsio. They called us up and asked for our help, sir. Oh, and because we've been searching for the Autograsio these past 7 years, it is a more or less mutually beneficial arrangement, if you ask me. Except for how mutually unbeneficial this has all turned out to be, I suppose. It looks like you failed to competently perform your guard duty yet again. Look forward to your next salary negotiation, although it's out of my hands. But sir, if it gets cut anymore, I won't even be able to buy even packet noodles anymore. Kay, are you alright? You believe me, don't you, Mr. Edgeworth? You don't think I did it, right? Yes, of course I don't, and I promise to prove that it wasn't you. That's enough chit-chat. You can investigate all you like, but it's only a matter of time before we take her in. It'll be wise of you to give up all you can. No, I don't think so. Kay isn't lying, and my investigation will prove that to be true. Go ahead and try then, if you're that confident. I won't allow this to continue on this way. I must prove her innocence post-haste. So our victim was the Secretariat of this embassy, I take it?
Many Curtain. I heard that he was an admirable person. Very admirable.
The cause of death is a stab to the base of his neck. He was lax in watching his back.
We were fortunate that the fire missed our victim's body for the most part. If the fire had burned a bit longer, it would have made identifying him a hassle.
So Mr. Cochin was stabbed to death in the middle of a raging fire? What in the world happened inside this room? Notes on Cochin's body jotted on my organizer. I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious-looking nook and cranny. There appears to be something in his pocket. This key can't be. Isn't this the other Ross's key that was stolen 7 years ago?
What? But that's...
Huh? 7 years ago? Oh! You mean that case where I was framed, sir? Yes, the piece of evidence that stole the life of Kate's father 7 years ago. Which was then stolen by Callisto U. What? Mr. Faraday was killed with this key, sir? I thought he was killed with a knife.
Scruffy, at the very least, try to remember the details of crimes you were a suspect in.
Franziska, as you will recall, Detective Gumshoe was not present when Miss Yu made her escape. Plus, even among law enforcement, only a few knew of this key's existence. I doubt that a new rookie at the time would have been made privy to such knowledge. Oh, I feel like the victim right now, all trampled on, sir. I suppose I'll just have to fill you in now. The secret to this key is... Oh, let's just show him that good old trick. That good old trick. Oh, wow, that's amazing, sir. It's like some kind of magic trick. The autogrosser's key data jotted to my organizer. I knew it. This is the same exact piece of evidence that Miss Yu took with her. I remember this beautiful pattern in the blade.
I remember this as well. It's a vine motif, isn't it?
Yes, it looks like 2 interwoven vines crisscrossing down the blade. Vines, sirs? It looks like a bunch of stars, if you ask me. It's one of those 6-sided stars, just like the police mark on our IDs. I really don't think you can call these stars. To say that the detective's art sense is underdeveloped would be an understatement.
The real question is why was the Babylese embassy's secretariat holding this?
While we don't know how Mr. Cochin came to possess this key, we do know that this was stolen by the autogrosser from the COHDOPIan embassy.
That's right. Mr. Faraday had written down that fact down in his organizer.
I believe this means that further research is required into the country of COHDOPIA.
Why don't you ask Ambassador Paleno about what he knows? Supposedly he was a candidate to be the next COHDOPIan ambassador once long ago. He should be able to answer any specific questions you may have.
It's a knife wound.
It's obvious what he was killed with, but I wonder if it's consistent with the wound.
Indeed. Is this knife the murder weapon? Some preliminary testing has been conducted. According to the results, the blood on that matches the victim's blood. The blade's shape was also found to be consistent with the stab wound. I suppose this means that we now know that the crime was committed with this knife. This knife's got some really fancy ornamentation going on, huh, sir? This thing practically screams artsy at me, too. Although it's covered in blood, it's also covered in blood, just like the last thing that I said was artsy.
But the handle is pristine. There's not a single drop of blood on it. Speaking of the handle, I believe it has a butterfly motif. It's very beautiful.
Motif on knife handle. A butterfly-shaped guard adorns the handle of the murder weapon. Knife data jotted on my organizer. This man, where do I know him from? Oh, I thought he was holding on to something. Okay, never mind. Wait, is something on the ground here? No, okay. Wait, what's this? Because this is a national treasure, can I ask that you please not touch it? I'm afraid the only ones allowed to touch it are myself and the Secretariat. Hold it! But there is a possibility that it is related to the murder, wouldn't you agree? Hey, Mr. Edgeworth, why don't we give up for now? We can force him to let us investigate it later when we find some solid proof. I suppose I don't have a choice here. This must be one of the Primaduck statues Kay was talking about earlier. Is it just me, or does this man look like the Steel Samurai? They could be twins. Babal's Primaduck statue dated DICHOTOMY organizer. Mr. Edgeworth, there's still something on this display rack, sir. Knives, huh? Although the blades are all that remain of them, unfortunately. I guess the handles all got burnt off by the fire. Ah, so even the knives fell victim to the fire. Ambassador Plano, are these knives yours? Why, yes, they are. They are a special set of ornamental knives featuring the national symbol of Babal. These butterfly-themed knives, along with Alabast's own set of knives, are comprised of 3 knives each. But I can't believe the Babalese ones have been reduced to this state. Ornamental knives, huh? There's a small release on the tang of this blade. Ambassador Plano, what is this notch here for? Oh, that! It's a feature of these knives wherein you can freely exchange the handles on them. So that we can change how they look to fit the situation, of course. I see. So these knives were constructed so that the handles could be easily removed. I can't believe that Manny fell among the thieves tonight. Without him, I have no idea what my schedule for tonight is. Ambassador Plano, I believe your schedule tonight will consist of listening to reports from the police, that and only that. I ask you to cooperate not only for your own sake, but for Mr. Coatson's as well. You're a rather strong man, aren't you? How fascinating! Here, I know it isn't much, but I'd like you to have these. I'm sorry, but it would be against my principles to accept a bribe. Oh, no, no, no! These are simply coupons we distribute to promote Babal. Remember, we offer a large number of discounts and offers when you visit lovely Babal. Now I remember, the Republic of Babal is known for its feverish tourism industry. Manny Cochin. I was wondering if you might tell me a bit about the deceased Manny Cochin. He was my secretary and the embassy secretariat charged with running the whole place. He was an admirable man. His death is a great loss to our country. He was in charge of everything, accounting, printing, taking care of our national treasures. I'm sorry, but did you say printing? Our country's primary source of revenue is our tourism industry. So, in order for us to print the necessary pamphlets, flyers, coupons, etc., we have a printing press here at our embassy. I see. Please excuse my forwardness, however, I feel I should mention that I have the distinct impression that I've met him before. Oh, yes. Since you are of the legal profession, I suppose you just might have. After all, Manny was involved in the KG8 incident. The KG8 incident? I thought we already knew that. Hello? The defendant who was found innocent in that case was Manny. So your Mr. Coaching is the same man as the one in that case. Maybe we were playing coy so that we could get more information. I don't know. So your Mr. Coaching is the same man as the one in that case. It's been 10 years. Manny recovered personally from that case and dove enthusiastically into his job. He was the one who planned this event and was to oversee this embassy's renovations. It really is a shame. He had such a bright future ahead of him. Renovations. What exactly did you mean earlier by renovations? We can't have tourists and visitors to our embassy think we're a poor nation, can we? So renovating the embassy is something of an investment. How do you like the voices so far from Poland? I mean, at least of the new characters in this episode. Just curious. I like to ask, to see what people think. We may have a rather paltry budget, but we're trying our best to make do. However, I guess the only person who could have helped us to our best is no longer with us. COHDOPIA. You still there, Poland? Ambassador Polino, I was wondering if I may ask you about COHDOPIA. COHDOPIA? Alright, what would you like to talk about? First, I'd like to ask you about this key. What about this key? I found it sticking out of Mr. Coaching's pocket. I believe it originally belonged to this embassy. Is that correct? Upon closer inspection, it seems this key is shaped like a butterfly. That's not all about this key. It's also capable of changing into a knife. Oh! How fascinating! Is it possible that the ambassador didn't know about the existence of this key? In its knife form, there's a flower mark at the base of the blade. I guess this knife might be from when we used to be a part of COHDOPIA. Oh, actually I just realized there's symbolism in this. They have a lot of symbolism in this episode. That's a part I really like about this episode. If you think about it, the key is the butterfly, has the butterfly, which is the which is representative of the Babalese side of the country, or of the split or torn country, and the knife is has the flower, which represents the Alabastrian side of the split or torn country, and then there's they just have this whole dichotomy. I think it's just beautiful. It's like a reflection of like the good and evil parts of the country, because also we couldn't get in there without explicit permission, and then to Alabast, and then Babal we could get in easily. So I think we'll be seeing a lot of themes here, especially with like that pamphlet, the red and green, everything. There's the dichotomy of the torn halves of COHDOPIA everywhere, and I think it's just really interesting to spot out those things in this game. So, or in this episode. So I think what they're trying to say is that Babal is the good side of the country that's welcoming, and then Alabast has something going on. Hold it! And how did you come to that conclusion? It has both of COHDOPIA's national symbols, the butterfly and the flower. I suppose Manny used this key here at the embassy back when we were still COHDOPIA. Key used at embassy. This key was stolen from the COHDOPIAN embassy 7 years ago by the Adagarasu. Ambassador Polino, this key was stolen from the COHDOPIAN embassy 7 years ago. By Callisto you, otherwise known as the Great Adagarasu. Oh, really? You were not aware that Monsieur had broken into this embassy at that time? I'm sorry I can't be of much help. I'm not very familiar with the details, you see. I only became the ambassador after Babal became its own independent nation. But if Manny were still alive, he would probably know about what happened back then. Mr. Coach and Miss Hugh knew each other 7 years ago. But that doesn't explain why I found the Adegato's key here in the present. It looks like this was once a grand-grandfather clock, but it has fallen victim to the fire. Hey, Mr. Edgeworth, is it okay for me to talk about the clocks in my house, sir? If they're unrelated to the case, I hope that you will refrain from sharing, but... Well, there's this one clock that I made by myself, but the timer on it manages... to auto... That's quite enough, detective. These shelves are lined with American souvenirs and memorabilia. It's really strange, isn't it? I mean, I thought this was the Babalese embassy. So, why are there so many American souvenirs, sir? Perhaps the Babalese are studying American culture and our tourism industry? If they have plans to make the Babalese tourism industry truly flourish, then they would need to observe and study other countries' methods, I suppose. Speaking of tourism, I got these from the blonde guy earlier, sir. He said that if I bring these with me to Babal, I can trade them in for a few buffets. Oh? So how do you expect to travel to Babal? Well, the whole world is connected by the oceans, sir. And for an all-you-can-eat buffet, I'd swim all the way to Babal if I have to. Can a few simple coupons really motivate people to do such fantastic things? Hey, it's another butterfly. I believe it is the symbol of the Republic of Babal. Butterfly of Babal. National symbol that adorns the national flag. Alabaster flower is its counterpart. 1 second, I'm gonna close my windows. This is getting a bit chilly here. 1 second. Backstory. You think so? I'm glad to hear it. That's a really important thing for me to do. And, of course, it's based on my interpretation of the characters, but... Okay, I've said this in past streams when I was doing Phoenix Wright. A lot of the characters... Phoenix Wright, I've always just done my regular voice because of the fact that he's the main character... Well, no, that's not... That sounds narcissistic, no. It's because I feel like he's the most, like, down-to-earth character in the franchise. 1 second. Phoenix, I've always used my regular voice just because I feel like he's the most down-to-earth, so I'm trying to make him sound the most human and not like a cartoon. And also, if there's a character that I have to do a speaking part for a lot, I feel like I just don't want to tire my voice out if they're going to have a lot of lines or stuff to read. So, like, for instance, Manfred von Karma wears out my voice really fast because, like, objection, irrelevant, things like that. So it's like, I have to... It's probably a little deeper than that when I normally do it, but that kind of stuff like that just hurts my voice. And then sometimes the Shilong Lang voice, like the you gotta stick with the pack, that kind of thing. I use that for a few characters, that kind of type, and that wears not as much as Von Karma, but yeah, there are some voices that that are just harder for me to do. But one of my favorite voices to do is Franziska Von Karma, and she's one of my favorite characters. And this is going to lead back to what I was talking about. So, some of the voices I actually have drawn inspiration from the Let's Dub series. I think it's like their YouTube channel is called Tyrand or something like that. Triand, whatever. They do like the Let's Dub, Phoenix Wright, Miles Edgeworth. Of course, I haven't done all the games, but so the Miles Edgeworth one is kind of like mine. Like, I don't remember what I had at Edgeworth originally. I can't remember. I first saw it freshman year, so it would have been like 3 years ago. But it kind of, when I drew inspiration from that, and then of course the Dual Destinies reaffirmation that Edgeworth is British. I've put on a thicker British accent, but it's not as thick as the one in that series. I didn't want to like do it completely exact, and I also like the fact I also don't really like the hard like British, because I feel like it's like too not poetic. I don't know how to say it, but it's like too thick or something. Yeah, and Franziska's voice is also one I drew from that series. So because some accents I just don't know how to do very well. Like if I hear someone do it after a while, I can kind of replicate it. But that's pretty much what she sounds like. I think she probably sounds more authentic though, because either she is German or whatever. I don't know. But hers is better than mine. But I think mine just sounds a little derpier, which I like for Franziska because she's not like a flawless character. Obviously, she has to have that human aspect. And then, so like especially with whenever I say Miles Edgeworth, that's direct inspiration because that's how she says it. I don't want to play the clip that I saw because that would be copyright, but yeah. And just other things like that, like sometimes in certain games have characters that I don't differentiate enough. Like Gumshoe sounds like my Phoenix voice, but like more whispery. And sorry, I'm talking about this at length. I suppose I should get back to soon, but I guess I just have this on my mind. Like Gumshoe's voice, like hey pal, like Phoenix's, but a little more whispery, a little more meek. The thing is that like he seems totally like okay, so the dub project does like a really good Boston accent, or New York, I don't know which one, but it's somewhere on the East Coast, and it's really good and it's gravelly, so it sounds like what you would expect from a character like that, and I thought it was really good, but I don't think I can replicate that, and I also just don't want to copy all their voices because I want to like have some of it be my own too. So anyway, I might talk about that as we go along, just with some characters, just because it's a topic I like to talk about, I guess. It's just because I like to talk about where I got the inspiration, and I also like to talk about that YouTube series because it's very well done. The voiceovers are very well done, very professionally done. I find it interesting. Okay, let's keep going. So thank you, Portland, for your response, by the way. I appreciate it. A drawing this big on the wall of an embassy. It definitely conveys a sense of overwhelming patriotism. Well, I've got a lot of patriotism too, sir. The reason I became a cop in the first place is because I wanted to protect our country. And like my mom said, I have a really good British accent, which I was really surprised by because that's just so kind of her to say. And because sometimes I think my voice sounds nice, but of course when I hear it in feedback, I think it sounds like, ugh. I think everyone has that, but it's just like, you know, my friend Jake, he says that I have like a good theater voice, which is really cool for me because I've actually been in 2 high school productions. I know, not that serious. The first one was the main character, and he was kind of like Edgeworth. He was more akin to, if you've seen The Count of Monte Cristo, he's more akin to the movie portrayal of the main character, Dante, I want to say. Let me see. Let me look it up. Yeah, exactly, because I've seen some streams which just do that. Like, there's a popular streamer that I saw that tuned in here. He actually tuned in here, and I saw he was on the viewer list. I was like, oh, cool, let me see, because it says he's a Twitch streamer. I look at his channel, he has a lot of viewers. He gets like a few hundred every time he streams Ace Attorney. He does other games too, but he doesn't read. But I don't think they mind, because it's still gameplay. And it also looks better because it's wider. He may have this he may have a capture card, and he may have it he was doing Ace Attorney Investigations too, but he may have it configured to do the side-by-side, so like this top screen would be on the left, this bottom screen would be on the right, or something like that. I don't know, and it looks cool, and he has like chat on the side and whatnot, so he's just a more professional streamer in general. But let me see, what's the character? Count of Monte Cristo. If you've seen the movie, the character, it's a really good movie, and I kind of want to read the book. It's an old book, but it's a really good revenge story. Let's see. The character I played in our play with, oh yeah, Edmond Dantes, that's right. So, essentially, our play was basically my character Alex Dennison. He's a playwright, and his fiancée, who they just got engaged, and it was like a whole announcement, his fiancée usually plays in the scripts he writes, and he has a bunch of friends, like a group of 6 friends total, that also act in his script or plays. Essentially, the plot is that one night, on the opening night of one of his plays, the reviews go poorly, and they're in the after party talking about how bad it was, or like, but that they should still be hopeful. You get to see the characters like being depressed and optimistic at the same time. It's kind of cool. But then everyone leaves. And then later that night, Monica, who is Alex's fiancée, gets murdered, and they don't know who it is. And the thing said, or the text said, or the typewriter said, what did the typewriter say? Let me look it up. The play is called Rehearsal for Murder, which has been adapted into a movie, like in the 80s or something like that. It stars Jeff Goldblum. And our class personally thought that our performance was better, but that's just bias. Let's see. Sorry, 1 second. Sorry, if you're not interested, let me know, please, because I don't want to talk about this too long, but I don't know. I have ADD, so I just took my medicine, Adderall. It kind of makes me, like, focus on certain things and get really excited about something. Let's see, yeah, so, okay, so, there was something left on the typewriter. It was made to look like a suicide note. Supposedly it was her suicide note, that she supposedly wrote on opening night because the reviews are so bad. And then Alex, of course. Oh, good, okay, I'm glad. Just let me know if you want me to switch to something else, or keep going. Alex, of course, after finding his fiance's suicide note, is, like, understandably heartbroken. So, exactly 1 year after her death, Alex has written a new script, and he calls all of the friends over from last year over to rehearse it with him, right? And I'm not gonna spoil it, but I'm gonna keep going a little bit more because I can. It's because of the plot. He essentially, he's like, okay, I have this new script. Let me know what you guys think, because we're gonna do a cold read-through here, and I want each of you to play a specific character in it, and we're gonna run through some scenes individually, right? So as they start playing through the scenes, each character, when Alex is pretending to be the other character, so Alex is reading it with them, he's playing as one character, and the friend of his is playing another character in the cold read. And the friend, each time they're going through one of the read-throughs, they realize that it's like passive-aggressive accusing them of killing Monica Wells, because all of them are like, he's playing as a woman that's clearly that's clearly a projection of Monica, and the characters that his friends are playing are clearly projections of them. And he's playing out scenes that of interactions with them that would suggest that they have a motive for killing her. And then at the very end of Act 1, they're all like, what are you proposing here, Alex? After most of everyone has done their thing, their scene, he's like, I'm gonna find out which one of you killed Monica Wells, and then that's the end of Act 1. That's essentially the plot. So it's kind of like a Shakespearean, what is it, Hamlet that searches for his father's killer. Let me see. Yeah, they actually make Lloyd, a character, one of his friends, actually, while they're reading through, actually makes a Hamlet reference, I think. Yeah. Yeah, so it's kind of like that. Yeah, it's called Rehearsal for Murder. I played Alex Dennison. One of my friends played Sally, whatever her last name is. Oh, Sally doesn't appear in the movie. That's right. Sally is in the script, but not in the movie. That was an interesting thing. I liked Sally as a character, though. Huh. Okay, but anyway. Yeah, no, it's interesting. And I got to really play the mastermind, and I got to have a pistol on the stage. That was really fun. And that's not a spoiler or anything, because he actually puts that in his attaché case at the very beginning. Or he, like, takes it out of his attaché case and, like, loads it, checks if it's loaded or whatever, and then puts it in his pocket or whatever, something like that. On opening night, we did 2 nights the first night, I couldn't, like, get it out of the bag, so I just, yeah, and I didn't take my jacket off. Anyway, but yeah, it's good, it's really fun. It was really fun, and I think it's a really good story. Let's continue. And Portland, I want you to know that I appreciate your expressed interest in it, by the way. I appreciate that you're a loyal fan of the stream. Because I know it's probably not that interesting to watch a gameplay of something you've already seen, especially if the person has already played it, because it kind of has lost all the interest there, but it's kind of fun to see how, or the commentary and, like, the take on characters from the player. Anyway. You may want to, Detective, however, I have yet to see the fruits of your desire. You don't have to be blunt about it, sir. What was he proposing again? Let me see. Hey, it's another butterfly. I believe it is a symbol of the Republic of Babal. A drawing this big on the wall of an embassy. It definitely conveys a sense of overwhelming patriotism. Well, I've got a lot of patriotism too, sir. The reason I became a cop in the first place was because I wanted to protect our country. You may want to, Detective. However, I have yet to see the fruits of your desire. You don't have to be blunt about it, sir. Oh, that's right, okay. I thought it was something along the lines of patriotism. Sorry, it was because I was talking for so long that we had to look through it. Anyway, let's see. I already checked this area earlier, but it never hurts to take another look. Let's see. So the motif on the knife handle is a butterfly, and the butterfly represents the symbol of Babal. So could this mean anything, perhaps? Perhaps there's a connection here. The design on the knife's handle. It greatly resembles the special Babali species of butterfly. It does, doesn't it? Plus, it says right here, this knife is property of the Republic of Babal. Perhaps this means that the knife used in a crime was found right in this room? Okay. Let's get... Oh, what's this? A small personal safe. This was Mr. Kurtzen's office. So perhaps he stored his most important documents in here. Have I ever played Danganronpa? Or is it Danganronpa? I don't know how to pronounce it. I've heard of it, I think. Let me see. Is it another... Danganronpa? Oh, on Ronpa. Oh, it's a visual... Oh! Nico B! A YouTuber I like to watch, he plays Ace Attorney. He's also done that, because he's done some visual novel ones. But I know because of the art style. One of the characters, he has, like, really messed up hair. He looks kind of crazy, but for some reason, he has, like, some skits with him and the judge. I don't know why, but it's funny, I guess. No, but he's a great YouTuber, personally, I think. It's produced by... Oh, it's pronounced Danganronpa? Okay. So it's a visual novel, I take it. Like a anime-esque kind. So basically like Ace Attorney, just a different art style, right? And different... Is it... Let me see. Oh, interesting. So maybe it'll be the reverse for me, because Ace Attorney is the first one I've played. Well, I guess then in this case it would be you who got me into Danganronpa. Let's see. Who made it? 10 out of 10 on Steam. Oh, it's on Steam! Ooh, perfect. Perfect. Pretty much like someone dies, you have to investigate who did it. Oh, so it's like pretty similar, but it's probably not like you defend someone, right? Like you just investigate and take new leads. So it seems like it's kind of like Professor Layton. I haven't actually played Professor Layton, but I think it's similar. That's why there's a crossover between Professor Layton and Phoenix Wright. What's interesting is my friend Ben said that how Professor Layton operates in the archetype, or like the story, like how, of progression of stories, that Professor Layton always knows who did what at the beginning, and the people just the criminals just gloat like they do in Ace Attorney, but it's not like a eureka moment, aha, I figured it out now. It's more of a he had them checkmated the whole time, and they just think they've escaped, but it's kind of funny. And then they freak out. He has to investigate, and then the trial section. Wait, there's a trial section? Oh. Intriguing. I thought it was like a investigations kind of deal. Let me look more into this. Elite High School, Hope's Peak Academy. The Ultimate Lucky Student, that sounds kind of cool. I wonder if the pot of people is included with the, I wonder if the elite are included in that. Let's see, wait. Oh, class trials. How does everyone else die? Is it just like, does the killer kill everyone else, or is it like magic? Or does everyone else get executed for... Or is it just like game over kind of thing? Wait, but I don't get it. If they accuse someone and are wrong, why don't they just release the person? Why don't they just release the person and then like either chastise or punish the school or students or whatever they're gonna do, and then not let them investigate and just take over? First of all, never mind. I'm not gonna analyze it like that. I don't want to be like nitpicky, because there's a lot of things in Ace Attorney which are interesting. Like, for instance, in testimonies, it's like if you okay, there's this one time in Trials and Tribulations where Maya was saying that she killed Elise Dunham. She's like, I killed her in self-defense. It was not or she was saying it was not Iris, it was her instead. She killed her mom. And then if you fail to disprove that, the judge is like, it's over, Iris 2 are guilty. It's like, wait, what? That seems a little counterintuitive. But interesting. Okay, so I'll have to look into it. And it's on Steam too. That's so easy. Yeah, like that. I'll try to put that on as soon as possible. Let's see the schedule here. I'm wondering wondering if I want to finish or do the whole Ace Attorney series before getting to that, but there'd be a lot of space in between. So here's the plan. Today, first episode. Yeah, exact. And I was gonna say I don't think either of us want to either hear or say anything more, just because of the fact that I haven't. And you've played all of them, or interesting. And then that would probably be especially interesting for you to see, because I haven't played it yet, and to see what I think of the characters or whatever. Anyway, this break break's over. I tried to do. I did a lot. Oh, good. So, during Thanksgiving break, which was it started. Let me see. Let me look at my calendar here. It started. Thanksgiving break started. Friday the 16th was our last day of school. Then it was a week of break, and this week we just got back to school. So that entire week of Thanksgiving break, I should have done more streaming for Miles Edgeworth, but I was getting tired. I had stuff to do. I was doing stuff with family and stuff, so I had to take a few days break each. So Friday the 16th, we did episode 1. I think Sunday the 18th, episode 2. I want to say Wednesday the 21st. No. Wait. What? I have to check my YouTube channel to see what the dates are, but we got through the first 4 episodes, and I was like, okay, this Friday, I'm gonna go start the final episode, which I should probably stop talking pretty soon, because I'm only gonna be streaming till 6, so I've got to get some headway in this case if we're gonna. Because my plan is to finish it in 3 episodes. So today, tomorrow, and then not Sunday, because I typically like to. Sundays, I don't know. Sundays are just like it's the end of the weekend. Sometimes I have stuff I want to get done. Sometimes I just don't want to think I have less time than I do. So I'll finish this episode or this game next Friday. Will be the 3rd and final episode. I hope that's not too long, because if I don't get much done this episode, it could very well be very long. Because I know Rise from the Ashes, the 5th and final episode, released in the first Ace Attorney. That was to test out the capabilities of the DS when it ported the DS. That I compiled I looked at all the videos with the time it took, and of course there were breaks like this and stuff like that. And I had friends included. I was talking to friends at the same time, and they were listening and watching, so they would talk and stuff like that. We'd get on tangents. There'd be breaks. Anyway, but it took me. I looked at those. It took me 3 episodes to do that episode alone, and I looked at each of the hours that it took to do that episode, and I think it was 15.15 hours. No, 15 point. Something like that. It was a little bit over 15 hours to do that Rise from the Ashes episode. And of course, that episode is notorious for being the longest episode of the series, that it drags on forever, because Damon Gant takes forever to get him. I actually personally, after finishing the first Ace Attorney, I thought that was my favorite episode, but that's just probably because of the bias. It was the last one I played. And then of course when I finished the second game, Justice for All, of course that was my favorite, because damn. And then of course, Trials and Tribulations, Bridge to the Turnabout is still my favorite episode to this day. The final episode of Trials and Tribulations. I felt that game in general is just my favorite, because it wraps up the original trilogy so well. It wraps everything up so nicely. I just love it to pieces. And it has enough emotional weight to it that you get attached to characters, and you get to see more of Mia, she's one of my favorite characters, more of Maya, things like that. Yeah, exactly. I don't think I have a single episode of that game that I don't like. The episode I like the least, I mean, all the cases are good, it's just some are better than others. So my least favorite in the 3rd game was probably was Recipe for Turnabout. No offense, it was a good game. I mean, it was a good case. It was a good episode. I just felt like it didn't have the... And each of them actually tied into the mainline story. So, if we look at the first episode, you get to see Phoenix on trial. You get to see Dahlia for the first time, even though that's not the first time she appears. It's a pretty damn important case. You get to see Mia finally win. Well, at the time, you don't know she... Well, I guess there are allusions to the fact that she lost her first case. The second episode establishes Godot. You learn more about... Or Mia, you get a little bit of hint towards their, like, relationship kind of thing. Yeah, Mia was queen. She slayed. I loved Mia so much. Second episode, and you got to see Adrian Andrews again. That was a nice little cameo to see her all happy again, or happy finally and independent kinda. And you got to see Godot in for what his seemingly unnatural, irrational, and completely random hatred for Phoenix. That was interesting at the time. And then you get to see Phoenix, like, work through on his own a little bit. Like, of course, Mia helped him. Like, she saved him, like she does on occasion. But he was still able to trick... Wait, I'm trying to think. Did he trick him into it? I know he... Okay, when... on the topic of tricking, sorry, sidetrack. Blah, blah, blah. Anyway, the trick of the... that gets me thinking about the trick that Phoenix wrapped Damon Gant into. That was, like, so intelligent. I loved that, with the whole handprint evidence. I totally, the first time, was like, okay, let's show the evidence, because we might as well, because it is the law, and this is evidence, so we want to be on the side of the law, obviously, but that wasn't good. I thought we'd, like, logic it. Anyway, back to the... So episode 2 was good. Episode 3, it was also good because it established... It brought in some new characters. A lot of them were, like, really entertaining to a lot of people. I think they were pretty good, yeah. Fear of Tigray's voice was really hard for me to do. It really hurt my voice and tired me out. But it, again, featured Mia some more. Come to think that Mia appears in every single episode of that game. I didn't even think about that. Holy frick, I didn't even realize that. That is amazing. I mean, it's only natural, because that's like pretty much your game. Come on. Third episode, like, and what was interesting is this game had a nod to that episode. If you saw the part in the third episode with the kidnapping case, that tender lender letter to Lance Amano that caused him to need money really fast. It said that was described as the love letter only because it was written by Violetta Cadaverini, which is that creepy girl from the third episode. I thought that was nice, interesting. Then the fourth episode, of course, was just magnificent because it didn't take itself... Okay, it took itself seriously, like really well seriously, and also it had some humor in it, and we got to see young Edgeworth and how corrupt he was. Yeah, isn't that cool? And then we get to see Mia for the first... Oh, yeah, I forgot to say again, in the third episode, we also got to see the foreshadowing for the helmet, the visor, Godot's visor, and the 3 lights. And then also I liked the cardboard badge and the whole pretending to be Phoenix kind of thing, even though it's ridiculous anyone mistook him for Phoenix. Yeah, so like they're the minor details, and yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? And then the fourth episode, of course, Mia, for her first case, we get to see Diego Armando. Oh yeah, in the first episode, we get to see Marvin Grossberg. That was fun. The fourth episode, Mia's first case. There's a lot of emotional weight to it. And what they did with the defendant was brilliant. And then you gotta see Dahlia again. They did it well because you know Dahlia did something, and you get to learn about her past as well. Because of course, you know she was described as escaping this case, but you also know the duality of it is that you also know that you're not gonna win because she escapes. Yeah, he is. He calls. I have a clip on my channel. He calls on my Twitch channel. He calls Mia Fey a bimbo. It's like oof. And also the Canadian judge is kind of funny. The judge's younger brother. But yeah, we get to see more of Dahlia's past, and you also just don't like her already because you know she's a killer. But you're like, if you think about it logically and the timeline, you know she escapes. And the whole thing where she's pulling the Melissa Foster crap, you're like, okay, we know you're Dahlia Hawthorne, and there's a reason that you're hiding your name, alright? And then, finally, the fifth and I also liked the little fact that the little thing that no one was happy exiting the courtroom that day. Even Edgeworth, even when he was smug, he didn't. Except for, of course, Dahlia, who had the devil's smile on her face when she left. In the fifth episode, I liked the little intrigue at the beginning with Phoenix and the whole Iris thing. He's like, wait, what's up here? But this case, I mean, there's so much I could say about this case. I think we both know why the final case of the third game was good, so I won't deliberate on that anymore. But I will come back to what I was originally talking about. I was talking about, so this break, or I'm going to finish this game before Christmas break, which is like December 21st to January 5th or something. Oh yes, not even to mention that. Yes, playing as Edgeworth was so fun for the first time because that was the first time we also got to hear is hold it and take that. That was fun, and seeing firsthand his interactions with Gumshoe, and that was just awesome. But yeah, so Christmas break I'm going to be doing Miles Edgeworth 2, and I'll be able to be more a little liberal and lenient with how often I do the episodes because I have 2 weeks, so I can chill out a little bit more. What's interesting, this is not like an OCD thing, but it would be kind of cool if I had this game take 7 episodes and the next game take 8, because the first game took me 5 episodes, the second game took me, the first game took me 6 episodes, the second game took me 3 episodes, 4 episodes, 4 episodes, the third game took me 5 episodes, this game, if it takes me 7 episodes, then the next game takes me 8 episodes. That would be so cool, because it'd be like, there's a game that took 3, or a game that took 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then when I do Apollo Justice Ace Attorney, maybe during spring break, I might be able to do during spring break, I hope so, and maybe hope not at the same time, because of depending if I'll be able to go on a trip or not, I'd like to do that too. That game's shorter, so I could actually probably squeeze that in 3 episodes, so that'd be cool to have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, I don't know, it's just kind of, yeah. Anyway, sidetrack aside, but I guess this is what Twitch and YouTube is for, like, talking to the viewers, like, that's whole, well, I like to think of it not as viewers, but as, like, friends you're playing with, and that are playing along with you. So, yeah, so you are my friend now, Portland. That is the whole point of that. Obviously, like that, so flippy. So perhaps he stored his most important documents in here. Of course it's locked. It appears we won't be able to open it without the key. The key. Locked safe. The Secretariat's office safe. It can't be opened without the key. Oh, that's right. And some of the logic thing I haven't remembered, but it's all coming back together now. But yeah, like as I was saying, I feel like, yeah, of course. And thank you. I like to think that YouTubers and the fans and Twitch streamers and the viewers, that they're all friends and they're actually just playing together. But maybe that's just me being overly optimistic. I don't know. So, if the safe in this room is locked, and this was Manny Cochin's office, and this is the key, this key was the COHDOPIan key, or the Yadagrasu's key was in this office and was stolen from here 7 years ago, from this embassy. Can we not reason that this key opens this safe? We know for a fact that the Yadagrasu's key was used at this embassy. Furthermore, we found it in the victim, Mr. Cochin's pocket, which leads me to think that perhaps it is the key to the personal safe in this office. Good thinking, sir. Let's go try it out. The nice thing about talking at length is that we extend the time. And the reason that is because if I don't get enough done in this episode, I can always just rush it towards the end. Or, I mean, I can always just have a longer episode in the second or third. Now, if I didn't talk, and it was too short, and it didn't lead to 3 episodes, it wouldn't be, like, the end of the world, obviously, but I'd like to have 7 episodes for that reason. I don't know. I like even numbers, but there's just a weird circumstance. Anyway. So it's kind of nice because it lets that 3 video idea happen, and it also allows us to talk to each other, and it also makes it more interesting And, yeah. And it doesn't really seem to cause that many complications, so, anyway. It appears I was correct. The key that was left to us in the victim's pocket. It literally turned out to be the key to the next piece of the truth. Let's see. What do we have here? Hey, there's something inside. Do you think the Adagrasu made off with everything, sir? No, Detective, I believe all we need is a closer look. I won't trust until I've inspected every suspicious looking nook and cranny. What is this here? It looks like the ripped corner of a piece of paper, sir. No, I don't think it's ripped. It seems more to me like it's stuck in the safe. Hey, you're right, it won't budge an inch, not even when I tug on it. But I don't think I've ever seen paper stuck on the inside of a safe before. Hold it! Detective, I think you have it backwards. It's not that the paper... Detective, I think you... Hold it! Detective, I think you have it backwards. It's not the paper that's strange. It's the safe. What do you mean? What I mean is that the secret to the safe is that it has two compartments. Even just eyeballing it, you can see that the inside is a bit too shallow. Furthermore, with the unnatural way the paper is stuck on at the back of the safe, I'd say that there is an extra bit of space behind the back wall of this safe. In other words, this safe has a second compartment. Oh yeah. Hold on. Just a side note, really quick. In the 4th episode, when he was a little bit younger, I don't think I did this in the 3rd game. Maybe I did a little bit, something I don't know, with characters in the past, maybe. But I like to have their voices a tiny bit higher, but still retain their style. But I don't know. I'm wondering if his voice would have locked in by then, like the deepness of it at that age. Anyway, I was gonna ask you, what do you think of how Edgeworth performed and acted in the 4th episode? Because that was around the time that was before Edgeworth debuted in his first episode with Mia Fey, and he was the manipulator. He was like the Manfred von Karma. He was the smug prosecutor, pretty much as he was in the first game, but like exactly like Manfred von Karma. Because if you see his finger wag like that, it's exactly like Manfred von Karma in that episode and the first game. It's a nice detail. And the 4th episode, the 3rd game, it's a nice detail. But I'm wondering, what do you think about that? Because, hold on, let me hear from you first. Well, not necessarily his voice, but like, I see what you're talking about. On what I was talking about before. What do you mean they just reused line? Or sorry, I'm misunderstanding what you mean. Oh yeah, no, I meant the voice that I was using. That's what I would try to do with someone who was, like 15 years in the or like 7 years in the past or whatever. That was just like a little side note, for talking about what I was doing for the voice. It was more of like a say it out loud to myself kind of thing, or maybe no. It was a mix of both. Anyway, but what I wanted to know is, what did you think of how he acted? Because personally, I felt maybe it's not necessarily like a continuity error, or not continuity error, or like a plot hole, but I find it kind of weird that he would defend Gumshoe in the way he did. I know he was like, oh, I honestly don't care about your well-being, detective, I'm just trying to find the truth. I get that, but then the very next time he appears in a courtroom, he doesn't seem to give a rat's ass about the truth. Like, he's manipulating like Manfred von Karma. I wonder if it's like a... I'm talking about both, actually, because that the 4th episode in this game occurred like right before his grand debut, and Trials and Tribulations, so I'm wondering what you think about how he acted in this game before then, because when we see him in Trials and Tribulations, he's all about, he's like modified on karma, he's manipulating witness testimony, he is trying to dismiss logical arguments just for on the basis of winning. He's manipulating evidence, he's kind of manipulating the judge, and he attacks the offense brutally. He attacks Mifia. Of course, she doesn't give in because she's strong-willed and a badass. But I'm wondering what you think about his nobility, like how noble he is in this game in the 4th episode, but why around the same time he's also like Montfort on Karma Jr. Maybe you could look at it symbolically, like maybe it's a little bit of his dad kicking in. Maybe it's like part of his dad is still with him, like spiritually, maybe spiritually, biologically, genetically, familial lineagely. He grew up as a... Oh, that's a good idea. Maybe he wasn't confident enough. I don't want to... I was about to say something about the second game, but you will see some major motifs that it's really good. He did, yeah, true. But I don't want to say anything more on that because his story's not over. Because Investigations 2 expands on the story more, so I don't want to like delve into more of his character because you're going to see that firsthand. Anyway, but a little credit given to in Ace Attorney Investigations 2. I'll probably say this again. It's a fan translation, and the same team had some of their people do the voiceovers for the voice files. It's amazing, and some people think that some of them sound too close, or that they don't like something. I think might also sound too close, but that doesn't have any relevance. I don't know why I'm saying that. I'm trying to say that I'm not as good either. But anyway, they are really good actually. They're a little bit different than... Well, no. They are good. But it's interesting to note that they're the fan team doing the voiceovers, because they sound like they could totally pass off as a canon, like, voice actors. Anyway. Also, Francis's voice actress, I think it's like Janet Sue. Anyway, let's keep going. What?
I suppose that you are correct in asserting that the paper is stuck in an unnatural manner. However, if what you say is correct and there is a second compartment, how do we go about opening the door to it then? As you can see, there's no other lock or keyhole inside. Actually, there's one more spot of interest to me on the safe. Oh? Yes, and I believe that spot is the keyhole to our mystery second lock. The safe and its locks. Alright then, since you are so sure of yourself, show me how you deduced your answer.
Well, let's see. If I remember correctly, it's like the... Yes, press. I know, right? Totally. And it's for free, too. It's like, you guys are dedicated and awesome. That's, like, really cool. The reason it didn't, I've read in an article by one of the developers, is that what happened was, after they released the game in Japan, the team kind of broke up, so the localization team kind of broke up, so they couldn't verily translate it without the team in mind. Well, they couldn't really translate without all of them together, because not only do they need the translators, but they also need the writers who made the script and who had the storyline, because they are the ones who know what direction they want it to go in and how they want it to be expressed. So, like, when the English version comes, they want to make sure that the same motifs and elements are in it, and that the same story is kept intact. I'm not sure if I heard this somewhere or whatever, but for some reason I have some vague understanding that maybe like one or two of the translators or writers or whatever from Capcom that worked on Ace Attorney 2, the Ace Attorney 2 team, actually worked with the fan translators, but I don't know. I could be absolutely wrong. I'm not even sure if I've heard that anywhere, if it's actually true, but for some reason I think that could be. Anyway, let's see. Well,
Oh, I don't know, perhaps the fact that there's also another lock? Is this spot somehow connected to the evidence I hold? Yeah, I kind of vaguely remember this lock, but it makes logical sense too. Eureka! Doesn't the shape of this keyhole remind you of something, Franziska? The shape? It does look very similar. However, I believe it's simply a latch hole for the safe's lock mechanism. Yeah, I was thinking that too, but... It's just for keeping the door shut, nothing more. Hold it! Is that so? The person who used this safe... Mr. Cochin made sure the safe had 2 compartments in order to hide something. Yeah, it is a bummer. It really is. Because I would have liked to pay for it, because I want to give them the money they deserve. Which I feel bad, because I emulated Mario & Luigi Superstar Saga, the 3DS version. But I'm gonna get it. Anyway, this one, I bought this one and Apologizes for the DS, but played them on the computer because I couldn't really stream the DS to the TV. I'm sure there's a way, but you need a lot of adapters or everything. For Ace Attorney Investigations 2, I felt bad that we had to emulate it, but I also considered the fact that we physically can't get it and play it and understand what's going on, and I'm like, well, since Capcom is a subsidiary of Nintendo, I think, I'm like, you know, I've purchased like 3 copies of Super Mario Bros. New Super Mario Bros. For the DS, and I know it's not an excuse because I lost them personally, but I'm like, you know, whatever. But if it comes to English, I will, like, at some time I will buy it, because to make up for it. I know, right? Seriously. There's a fan translation going soon for I think it's DICHOTOMY Seibon, which is Phoenix's ancestors game, with Sherlock Holmes and everything. There is a translation for it, but they'd send you a cartridge, but they want you to buy it because, of course, they don't want you to like cheap out on the money that the company deserves. But it's complicated because it's a DS cartridge, so I don't know how I would hook it up to the TV. So I'll figure it out eventually. Wait, let's see. Yeah, true. Yes, the greatest attorney. Thank you. Oh yeah, because Dai probably means great because it has the character for Da, which in Chinese actually means, I know it's Dai is not Da, but it has the character for Da, which obviously in Japanese it's Dai, and in Chinese it's Da. I'm saying Chinese right now, and Da means big, so big, great, kind of similar. Mr. Cochin made sure this safe had 2 compartments in order to hide something. Do you honestly think someone like that would allow the keyhole to the hidden half to look so obviously like a keyhole that even the average person could figure it out? You can't be serious. Are you saying that this keyhole is the keyhole to the hidden compartments of the safe? That's precisely what I'm saying. And I will prove to you right now, that the Autograsso's key is the key that will open it. Objection! The Autograsso's key? Miles adverse? This had better be a very bad joke. Yeah, and you can get them on the 3DS, I think, but it's not in... Or they're for the 3DS, but I don't think they're in America. Yeah, I hear they're pretty good too. Yeah, same. I don't blame you there. So if I... Man, I sound so self-centered. I don't mean to sound so narcissistic. If anyone does a Let's Play, I'd like to think that we both play it first, before watching it. But yes, if I were to do a Let's Play of it, I wouldn't do it for a long time. Because I want to have a good window of time after I've played it. So, like, Spirit of Justice, which won't be for a while, like, because I'm going to college after this year, so I have to figure stuff out. So, I'll probably have, like, a hiatus, if you're even still interested in my channel, which I don't blame if you're not.
So, likely, the first game that we'll play after I come back from, or the great revival, if you will, chances are it could be Apollo Justice, depending on if I do the trip with my friends during spring break or not. And if I do not go on the trip, I'll do Apollo Justice Eternity over spring break, and then Dual Destinies will be. That's actually kind of fun because it's like Apollo Justice, if the circumstance works, Apollo Justice, and it's like Phoenix coming back after all those years, you know, like after that time. Anyway, for like Dual Destinies, but it could very well be that I could go on the trip and also do Apollo Justice because it's so short, so I might have a few days when I get back or before I go, but who knows. Anyway, and then Spirit Justice would follow suit, so those will take a while, but we finished Spirit of Justice like half a year ago or something, and it was really good. I liked it. A year ago, half a year ago, something like that. I thought it was very fun. Yeah.
Miles at first, this had better be a very bad joke.
Sorry, but this is no joke. The Adagrasso's key is the very key that will open the second compartment of the safe.
We know that this key opens the first compartment of the safe, but the keyhole you're talking about is of an entirely different shape since that is of an entirely different shape.
I cannot speak today. My voice is getting tired for some reason.
Is of an entirely different shape since that of the key.
Well, let's check that, shall we? We discovered this trick 7 years ago, and with it we were able to corner Miss Hugh. But who would have thought that I'd see this key again after all this time? What? What? Oh, that's right, use the knife end of it. Let's go over this again, shall we? The Adagrasso's key was originally made to open Mr. Kojan's safe in the COHDOPIan embassy. Crafty, very crafty. We confirm that as fact by opening the door to his safe with it. Now, let's take a look at the back end of the key. Looking at the knife portion head on, what do you see?
What are you talking about?
Ah! It appears that you've come to understand what I'm talking about. When viewed head on, the knife's blade is the exact same shape as the keyhole. The real function of the knife portion is to act as the key to the hidden portion of the safe.
But that's preposterous.
Because it looks like a knife and was used like one to kill Mr. Faraday 7 years ago. We fell under the... Oh wait, because it looks like a knife and was used to like one to kill Mr. Faraday 7 years ago, we fell under the misconception that it was always meant to be a knife. But for both the safe and the key to conceal such clever tricks, whatever is hidden inside the secret section must be of incredible importance.
Then it's even possible that what I've been searching for is inside. Scruffy, hurry up and open that safe.
Ah! Yes, sir. Open it now, sir. Or opening it now, sir. These items there. It's a bunch of funny shaped. It's a bunch of funny shaped things. Okay. It's a bunch of funny shaped things. I guess they're pieces of art, huh, sir?
You're on the way. Now move, Scruffy.
I'll wait a second for you. Welcome back, Portland. Sorry, 1 second. Sorry, just gotta do something real quick. Okay, sorry. Let's keep going.
You're in the way, Scruffy. Now you're in the way. Now move, Scruffy.
I didn't think I was in their way.
These pieces of art, they're identical to ones that I have been stolen from various countries around the world.
I figured as much. These are the treasures the section of the safe was to hide from view. I believe a more thorough examination is required. This is the document that we thought was stuck earlier. I wonder what it's about. Beats me, sir. Why don't we take a look at it first before we give up, Detective? Mr. Cochin's name is written here on the last page. I wonder what the significance of this document is. These are pieces of stolen art from around the world. I wonder how much they're worth, especially this one.
Scruffy, don't touch those valuable pieces of art with your filthy hands. Why, do you have any idea what would happen to if one of them were to you? Why, do you have any idea what would happen to you if one of them were to break?
Is it just me or did she hit one of the pieces of art just now? To build this sort of trick into one safe is really something. Yeah, it's neat how the safe has 2 compartments, but what's really impressive is that at the other end of the keys was another key. I totally hadn't noticed. I wonder if Mr. Cochin was just paranoid, or if he had secrets of that great a value. Speaking of paranoid, I once sharpened both ends of my pencil. But then when I went to erase something, I got all paranoid that I was going to stab myself. What? How does that even work? Oh, like he had sharpened his eraser so much that... Please refrain from dispensing your special brand of unrelated stories while on duty. Yes, sir. It appears that we found the key that the Miss Hughes stole 7 years ago. Since it was originally from this embassy, maybe she came back to return it? I don't think she's the type to be so kind as to do such a thing, Detective. Okay, then what do you think, sir? Then what do you think, sir? Callisto U. For what reason did she steal the key? Oh, that's weird, not having the background blurred out for like a memory. Just having her here. We've already looked at everything, though. Can we just back out now? Or we can't? We don't think. I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious-looking nook and cranny. Is there another lock right now? Okay, I was gonna say. We've already looked at everything, though. What? Oh. Okay. Oh, I'm sure I know what we must do. We must look at something else, probably not. I already checked this area earlier, but it never hurts to take another look. Manny Coach. I've seen him before. He was the suspect in the KG8 incident, and I saw him talking with the elder sister of the victim of that case, Miss Callisto Yu. I wonder if there's a connection between his murder and the KG8 incident. It's the Atograsso's key. I wonder how it managed to return here. So this key was stolen by Callisto Yu 7 years ago, right? Oh wait. Alright, so this key was stolen by Callisto Yu 7 years ago, right? Yes, although originally it was stolen from this very building. Well, then maybe Miss Yu just decided to bring it back. I can't dismiss that possibility, however, it doesn't fit her modus operandi given all of her actions. I'm pretty sure modus operandi is pretty much simply just motive, I think. And like how, I think so. It's just a Oh, wait, no, yeah, it's a particular way or method of doing something, especially one that is characteristic or well established, the way something operates or works. Okay, maybe I was kind of thinking that too, but I thought it was more on the motive side. There's something we're not looking at here. Oh, no, never mind. The ceiling fan must have fallen from the ceiling. A ceiling fan? What does one of those do? Exactly what it sounds like it does. It's a fan that is installed on one's ceiling. Well, if I had one of those in my room, I bet I'd go dizzy from staring at it as I slept. Detective Gumshoe, in the real world, we close our eyes when we sleep. Oh, okay, never mind. I already checked this out earlier, but it never hurts to take another look. I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious-looking nook and cranny. We still have something we're not finding here. Let's look at some of our evidence, I suppose, first.
Miles adverse?
Oh yes, I suppose we still have yet to talk to Franziska, I suppose. Let's see what new insight she offers, or has. What is it?
Let me tell you something. You are currently my subordinate. And if you wish to convince everyone else of that, then you will speak to me with respect.
What's with the giddy glint in her eyes? I don't think that will really be necessary, Franziska.
Oh, really? Well, it doesn't matter. It doesn't change the fact that you are still under me.
I thought Franziska was flying around the world in pursuit of the smuggling case. So then, why is she here at this embassy? Franziska's return. Why is she here when she's supposed to be overseas in pursuit of a smuggling ring? Oh, and this is where it comes in, of course. The murder.
I was investigating at the Alabastian embassy when I got wind of this mess.
Ah, that's right. The Adagarasu was due to appear at that embassy as well.
Yes, but the difference is that we didn't have a fire there. Over there. Also, there was an incident in the Alabastian embassy as well. But I left Agent Lang in charge of that case and came over to the Babalese embassy.
So Agent Lang is here as well, huh?
I see you've met. Well, he's in the Alabastian embassy acting as bodyguard for Ambassador Alba. However, he seems to have a different reason for being there.
Yatagarasu.
So the suspect in the murders that occurred in this office is that little girl, I see. Is she perhaps trying to be the Yatagarasu?
Kay would never harm a soul, sir.
Kay?
You remember, do you not, about the case we investigated together 7 years ago? That girl is the daughter of the victim in that case, Mr. Faraday.
So she's that feisty little girl.
Kay has been on the trail of the Adagarasu, which is how she ended up here. Looking for the one that took her father's life.
I see.
Kay's trying so hard, but you know what? The Adagarasu just keeps on tricking us all. How so? The Adagarasu send a card saying, "I will be there to steal your dirtiest secret." Stealing of secrets. The card wanted the Adagarasu will steal the embassy's dirtiest secret. But all we've had is an arson and a murder. The lab boys are going in circles. You know what this is, sirs? It's a breach of contract, and it's going on the rap sheet.
If you ask me, I'm perfectly fine with the fact that nothing was stolen tonight.
I do wonder, though, if Callisto really is the Adagarasu. Oh, that's right, because I still had the... I thought we still had the information with the... I mean, I thought we still had the information with the key, but I remember we combined that up in the safe. So, if the Yatagarasu wanted of stealing a secret, could perhaps the secret be related to the smuggling ring that Franziska's investigating? That is why she's here. To steal your dirtiest secret. Is it possible that the dirty secret the Yatagarasu is out to steal is in this very room?
Dirty secret?
Franziska, you're in pursuit of some dirty, underhanded dealings yourself, are you not? Something tells me that this is no coincidence.
In that case, then, the person I'm looking for is here in the Babalese embassy, huh? The head of the smuggling operation.
I think I just might need to ask Franziska about her smuggling case in more depth. Smuggling. Franziska, when we last talked you said that you were on the trail of a smuggling ring. I suppose the reason you are here right now is related to that?
Yes. After analyzing the intel we've gathered from various countries, this embassy rose to the top of our list of sites to investigate. And this is what tipped us off.
This accounting document?
It's only 1 page of the whole thing, so we're not sure about all the details.
Oh, that must be the second of the 3 pages.
However, it's enough for us to grab onto the tail of the beast. For you see, this type of paper was made only in the kingdom of COHDOPIA, which means that somewhere in the countries of Alabas and Babal is the head, the one pulling the strings behind the entire smuggling ring.
That's Franziska for you. She's amazing, pursuing this case with all she has. COHDOPIan paper document dated DICHOTOMY organizer. I believe now we have enough clues. I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious looking nook and cranny. That's why we were yielding nothing from a continued search of this safe. Is this spot somehow connected to the evidence I hold? Eureka! Take a good look at these documents, Franziska.
It says that there are 3 papers in total, and yet there are only 2 here.
Correct. Now take a look at the smuggling activity document in your possession. Tell me, is it not possible that your page was taken from the set of 3?
Well, it certainly looks that way.
By putting our multi-part puzzle together, we seem to have arrived at an answer. And it seems that you have now found what you were looking for.
Yes, and it has become crystal clear that Mr. Coton himself is responsible for the mass smuggling of Babyliss ink.
Babyliss ink? Babyliss ink?
Babyliss ink is a special product of the Republic of Babal. However, due to a special reason, only a limited volume is ever exported.
Hold it! And that reason is...
That's classified. It's on a need-to-know basis, and you don't need to know. In any case, it seems that the head of the smuggling ring was our victim, Mr. Manicochin.
Sorry, by the way, that I took so long. It's taken me... It's been a while since I've done this episode, so investigation sometimes take me a long time. His base was an embassy, thus it was hard for both our country and his to interfere. I guess I should just assume we need to talk to everyone all the time. But sometimes it doesn't feel like you need to, but most of the time you do. And investigate everything, making it the ideal conditions under which to run a smuggling operation.
It was so frustrating. I lost the person I was to rain judgment down upon with my whip of justice.
Well, even if he is dead, we still have a responsibility to look into his misdeeds.
You expect me to whip a dead man? Well, I'm not interested.
Franziska, you must know that Manicochin was the suspect in the KGH incident.
Of course I know, on top of being the head of the smuggling ring. There's no matter what really happened in that case that needs to be resolved.
Investigation complete. Are you done investigating? I wonder why they're playing sad music here. It's interesting. I think I remember, because they play it later, I think. You realize now, don't you, that this girl's the only one it could be? Oh, yeah, that's because Kay's being accused. Now come along quietly out of Grasu, Kay Faraday. You are under arrest for the murder of Manicochin.
Mr. Edgeworth, please, you have to believe me. I didn't do it. I chased the fake out of Grasu in here, and he was already...
You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. Hold it! I'd like to help you reduce the number of mistaken arrests Interpol makes. What is that supposed to mean? I believe I told you that Kay Faraday is not the culprit of this crime. Very well, I suppose... Very well, I suppose I have no choice. I'll show you just how foolish your claims are. Ooh, here we go. You ready for this, Portland? Are you still here, Portland? You probably are, I'm sorry. Tell me why I arrest Kay. Even your police confirm that the Adagrasu infiltrated the Babli's embassy tonight. Utilizing the confusion caused by the fire, the Adagrasu snuck into this embassy. Furthermore, this girl claims to be the Adagrasu. But most importantly, other than her, there was no one else in here with the body. Okay. Your reasons for suspecting Kay is because you think she is the Adagrasu? Exactly, but it isn't just me. She calls herself the Adagrasu. Look, how many times do I have to tell you? I was only out to capture the fake Adagrasu. Imposter or not, it matters not. The Adagrasu is the Adagrasu. Very well, then I shall prove that Kay is not the Adagrasu who killed Mr. Manny Cochin. Go ahead and try. Show me what the prosecutors of this country are made of. Rebuttal, why arrest Kay? Let's save state really quick, just because we've done a lot thus far. It's been 6 days since we last saved in the save state, so... Even your police confirmed that the Adagrasu infiltrated the Babli's embassy tonight. Hold it! They may have confirmed it, but are you telling me that no one could catch the thief? If so, you're basically admitting that the Adagrasu that committed murder eluded us. Of course, I chased after the Adagrasu that entered the Babli's embassy right away. And that is also why I'm making this arrest right now. Because at the end of my long chase, there was only this girl. No! In any case, it's what I believe happened out there tonight. Utilizing the confusion caused by the fire, the Adagrasu snuck into this embassy. Hold it! The confusion caused by the fire? Are you saying that the Adagrasu was not the arsonist who started the fire? A suspicious person in a long coat was spotted in the area. Officers in the area claim to have seen that person start the fire. It appears like we have a phantom in our midst. Yeah. In a way, he could be considered a phantom with the way he randomly appears. Furthermore, this girl claims to be the Adagrasu. Hold! Oh, that's right, for that reason. That's right. So, like, to hold why, we have to shout into the microphone, but I don't think we have that right now. Hold it! Hold it! Just because she calls herself that doesn't prove that she's a killer. No, but it does give her a motive. The Adagrasu sent a card saying, I will be there to steal your dirtiest secret. Furthermore, there are documents pertaining to some smuggling activity in this room. She obviously wanted to steal them. So she killed Mr. Cochin for the key. I see. Her logic is very sound. I expected nothing less of Agent Lang's secretary. However, that statement just now didn't sound right. It might just be the opening I need. She wanted to steal documents regarding smuggling, so she killed Mr. Cochin for the key. Objection! Agent Sheena, I regret to inform you, but there is a flaw in your logic. Oh. Even if you claim that she is the killer and the Adagrasu, I am certain that securing the smuggling documents is not the motive behind the murder. The key to the safe in this room was found on Mr. Cochin's body. Furthermore, the Adagrasu would not be so stupid as to leave without the documents. By the simple fact that the documents were still in the safe when we looked, it's obvious that the killer's target was not the safe at all. Isn't it also true that the, isn't it also true that the key was stolen from this embassy 7 years ago by the Adagrasu? So, why would it be found in his body anyway? And why would the Adagrasu have a need to murder Manny Cochin for the key? It's obvious that the killer's target was not the safe at all. Hold it. Then perhaps she didn't know that Mr. Cochin had the key on him. Objection! If that's the case, then why would she have needed to kill him? Because I can think of no reason for her to kill him if she had not known that fact. Hold it. Need reason. All of this is simply our conjecturing after the fact. It's entirely possible that she accidentally killed him when she was sneaking in. Perhaps she didn't notice the safe second compartment before returning the key. No! No! But the fact still remains that Mr. Cochin was stabbed to death. Objection! But you have no definitive proof that it was Kay who committed the act. Hold it. Actually, I do. I saw her holding the knife she used on the victim with my own eyes. What? Allow me to tell you a bit more about the evidence that will put her away behind bars. Testimony definitive evidence. The knife wound on the body. The knife wound on the body is consistent with the blade on the knife. The knife with the butterfly handles the murder weapon, which the killer was holding. I assume she obtained the knife from the display rack and used it on the victim. The knife is a part of a special 3-piece set which has a design like no other. The evidence and testimony, it all points to the girl. There is no counter-argument. That is your definitive evidence? Evidence? You see now that she is definitely the killer, right? No, Mr. Edgeworth, you've got to believe me. I saw a suspicious person in a long black coat outside the embassy, I swear. And you came in here because you were chasing this suspicious person? That's right, I ran into this office only because I was chasing after that person. But when I entered the room, it was pitch black. I couldn't see a thing. I felt something on the ground next to my foot, so I turned on the lights, but then... Who's there? This is... I came to this room upon hearing this girl scream, and when I saw her holding the knife, I immediately restrained her. So the object Kay felt by her feet on the floor was the murder weapon. I had the knife analyzed right away, but we failed to find anyone's prints on it. Perhaps a translation error. Probably was intended to say anyone else's prints on it or something like that. Or anyone's entirely. But the suspicious person in the black coat who came into this room before me... Hold it. You continue to insist there was such a person, but if there was, where did they go? That, I don't know, but I know they came in here! Hold it. That sounds like the desperate excuses of a suspected killer, not a trustworthy testimony. You understand, don't you? We can't trust this girl's words, Mr. Edgeworth. She has a point. Even if Kay's words are the truth. Sorry, I thought my little brother was coming here. Great. I must show that they are there with some solid evidence. Mr. Edgeworth, I really didn't. Kay, don't worry. If you didn't do it, then there must exist a way for me to prove that. If you didn't do it, then there must exist a way for me to prove that. Hold it. Still not giving up, I see. In that case, try to counter my argument if you can. Don't worry, I can and I will. Rebuttal definitive evidence. The knife is a part of a special 3-piece set which has a design like no other. Hold it! About the 3-piece set, is there really no other like it? Let's ask Ambassador Plano for more details, shall we? The knives are indeed special. They have the butterfly, the symbol of the Republic of Babal, engraved on them. And because there are only 3 of them in the world, they're very, very valuable. The national symbol, huh? Well, the knives are covered in the butterfly's design. Along with the Alabastian set, our respective countries only have 3 knives each. I see. Are you satisfied now? If so, let's continue. There's no counter argument. Well, that's a big statement to make. I assume she... The knife with the butterfly handle is the murder weapon which the killer was holding. Wait. Let's look at this again. Because I'm pretty sure... There's a lot of skilled detailing on this handle. It would appear that the handle on this knife is removable. I guess so people can change them whenever they feel like it. Sounds like fun, sir. I don't think people would remove the handle just for fun, detective. Wait, that's right, it's removed, but I almost Objection! So the murder weapon was the knife with the butterfly design on it. But is that really the truth? What are you getting at? I'd like for you to take a look at this. There is blood on the blade, and yet there is not a speck of blood on the handle. And also, I mean, the handle is also intact, whereas the others were burned off. This signifies that at the time of the crime, a different handle was attached to this blade. The knife that Kay was holding had its handle switched and was in fact not the real murder weapon. It wasn't the real murder weapon. This knife can be taken apart. Shall we give it a... This knife can be taken apart. Shall we give it a go? As you can see, the Babyliss knife has now been disassembled into two parts. The killer must have pulled the murder weapon out of the victim's body, and proceeded to swap the knife's original handle with its butterfly one. It was all to create the illusion that Mr. Coach was killed with the butterfly-themed knife. This should clear up any and all suspicions surrounding Kay. Babyliss knife handle data jotted down my organizer. Oh yeah, Portland, by the way. What do you think about the music in this game? I thought the music is pretty good. I think it's pretty good. It has like the unique gusto of Edgeworth. Like it's jazzy and like refined enough, you know? Like this song, for instance, is good. And Portland, I've been meaning to ask, how far are you into the second game? Yeah, the piano's... Oh yeah, like the tell the truth thing, the dun 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 dun. Yeah, it's very good. But yeah, how far are you in the second game? I see. The music in that game is really good too. Logic chess, I love that. So, that's a new system as well. That's a really good system. Has a new gameplay element. The music for that is good as well. But, you know how each of these games have the moderato, or confrontation moderato, allegro, or confrontation allegro, and a confrontation presto for like test modes and stuff?
I know the Presto is like very separated from the Modern Allegro as opposed to the other games when there's only just Modern Allegro and they're just variations of each other. Like the Allegro is just a faster version. Well, the Presto version, the Presto theme in Investigations 2 is regarded as one of the best testimony themes of the entire series. It is really good. The testimony is good. Hold on, I'm getting a call. 1 second. I'm back. Sorry, I just got a call from Mom. Oh, okay, you're back again? Okay. I'll wait for you, Merlin, don't worry.
Okay, where I guess we'll go, or keep going since we only have 10 more minutes left in this stream. Sorry, Portland, I hope you get back before this stream ends. Bubbly's knife handle data jogged down my organizer. Your argument isn't airtight yet. How so? It's possible that the girl herself is the one who switched the handles. Hold it! Don't be ridiculous. For what purpose would she do such a thing? I don't care to know how a criminal thinks. The way they view the world is beyond the comprehension of a normal person like myself. Therefore, I wouldn't put anything past them, no matter how odd it may seem. Objection! The truth is right there in front of you, and this knife will show you the way. You will come to see that Kay is not and could not have been Mr. Cochin's killer. There's quite a bit of blood on Mr. Cochin's blood on this blade. Thanks to being a prosecutor, I guess I've become accustomed to seeing blood. But this is not what is important right now. What is this mark on here? It's the mark of a flower. I assume you know what this means. No, not really. Butterflies rest on flowers all the time to drink their sweet nectar. And so they do. However, would this butterfly really drink the nectar of this flower? The answer is clearly not a chance. Now, to prove the relationship between the butterfly and the flower with this... Take that! You can't be serious. It appears that you've made the connection. The flower on this blade is designed after a certain country's national symbol. That's right, the Kingdom of Alabast. In other words, this blade is from one of Alabast's ornamental knives. This part of the knife handle has Babal's national symbol of the butterfly on it. Therefore, it is undeniably Babalese in origin. But as we both know, you can't kill someone with just a knife handle. Incidentally, when exactly did the murder occur again, Agent Sheena? After the fire had broken out. That's right. Kay entered the Babalese embassy after the fire had taken place. Furthermore, she had not been to the Alabastian side of the building before then. On top of that, not a single person passed between the two countries during the fire, which means that Kay could not have transported an Alabastian object over here. This makes it impossible for her to be the true killer. Whoop! Way to go, Mr. Edgeworth, sir. What a great victory. Huh? Hey, why is everyone so quiet? I'm happy we got this far and cleared Kay's name, but what worries me now is what will happen next.
Objection! That's the meaning of this. An Alabastian knife here?
Do you mean, how did this find its way to the Republic of Babal? It didn't just find its way over, rather we should focus on how it was smuggled over.
You know what? My brain hurts thinking about it while we're just standing around. Thinking while you're on the run? Now that's the way a real great thief operates.
Okay.
Oh, thanks a bunch, Mr. Edgeworth, for proving me innocent, I mean. You believed in me the whole time, right? Tell me you did.
Not really, but...
Haha, come on. You don't have to be shy about it.
Hold it. Your argument is still not airtight. Would you care to elaborate? I understand now that the girl didn't commit the murder. However, there's still the possibility that she is the Autograsso.
That again? Look, how many times do I have to explain it to you? I am the real Yatagarasu. I'm not like that fake one that goes around setting fires, okay?
Whether you're the real deal or a fake, it doesn't really matter. All I have to say is this. I have my suspicions that this girl's the one who started the fire. Objection! Preposterous! Preposterous! On what grounds do you suspect her of such a thing? The fact that she calls herself the Autograsso, that in itself is the most elegant proof.
Miss Sheena?
Yes?
I have no intention of taking back any of what I've said. I am the great thief Yatagarasu, and I refuse to allow some imposter to claim that name as their own. The path of justice that my father pointed me towards, I will walk it the best I can.
It's not good to be so stubborn.
I hope you can understand that. Thanks a lot for the concern, Miss Shina. Let me share something with you, too, as a token of my appreciation. Those sunglasses totally do nothing for you, so I'll steal them from you next time, okay? What? Well, I guess we'd better get going. Going to where? To the Kingdom of Alabast. If we don't go, we won't know for sure, right? I suppose not. We won't get anywhere simply by standing here thinking. To see where the Alabastian knife came from. We'll have to pay the Alabastian embassy a visit. Let's go, my adverse. As you are my subordinate, I will not tolerate you bringing the investigation to a halt. Understood. To be continued. Save? Yes, let's save. March 14th, 7:44 p.m. Theatrum Neutralis Lobby. Count off! 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. 1, 1. Shifu, 99 callouts, so all 99 members are most likely here and accounted for, sir. Hey, you. Yeah, you, the second one, number 1 from my right. Sir. Yes, sir. Here, a birthday present for you. What? Shifu, I didn't know that you knew all of our birthdays. What a kind heart you have. Shifu, you are more of a man than we'll ever be, sir. I'm really sorry, but it's not my birthday. Long Tzu says, a cub who disrespects others soon feels the disciplinary bite of an elder. That present is for you. It's for your younger brother's wife's younger brother. Tell him I said hi and happy birthday, won't you? Yes, sir! Shifu! I can't believe you remember that much about each of us. Shifu! I'm so moved that I can't stop crying. I've just got 2 more minutes, Eric. Jeez. Yikes. I should probably leave them to their alone time. Alright, meeting's over. Everyone head for your posts. Dismissed! Sir! Oh, well I am almost done, to be fair. Yo, were you guys there the whole time? I got a call from Sheena and she's already filled me in. It sounds like you're out to get in my way again. I have absolutely no intention of interrupting your investigation. I simply request that you grant me permission to investigate the Alabastian embassy. Hey, Ben. And what if I say no? Oh, Eric's here too?
Yeah, no, I have
Objection! Huh?
I have a suggestion.
What?
You have all these. You have the possibility to make a courtroom for every, or a chat channel for every scene, not just the courtroom.
Oh god.
Yeah, I'd make it so he had to.
I'd have to make hundreds of scenes, because there's like, there's at least 30 unique scenes for each game.
Immersion.
Yeah,
Which
true.
game should we play while we wait for Eric?
I'm like 1 minute.
Agent Lang, this man is my subordinate. As I have received permission from the ambassador, he is to be extended the same.
Hell yeah.
Oh god, Nidhogg.
We penis men with white swords.
As I have received permission from the ambassador, he is to be extended the same rights.
Why would you do
Sorry, sis, but it's not that simple. Alabast has the strictest immigration regulations in the world, or didn't you know? Even among my elite men, only about half of them were admitted into the country. Besides, any more cooks in the kitchen and we might spoil the soup if you get what I mean.
How dare you make such assumptions?
Spine sword.
Don't take this the wrong way, but I thought I was in charge of Alabastus, Von Karma.
Like, obviously.
Look, try to understand, okay? Things over in Alabaster are a bit of a mess right now. What do you mean by a bit of a mess? No one told you? We had an incident in Alabaster as well.
Wait, Eric,
This is what we call a decision based on the investigation, Mr. Prosecutor. Okay, actually, it's about time, so let's save here real quick. I know it's an abrupt end, but we kind of have to stop now. So, via denso. Good night.